Hello everyone, welcome
恭喜發
to
財
Three Marketeers Show. 恭喜發財，恭喜
Yes.
發財. You know,
恭喜
like
發財
this is
wherever you are.
This is 72, right? Wherever you are from, I hope you are having fun, hanging out with your loved ones, and basically, anyway, still wear masks, do your SOP kind of stuff, right? Anyway, tonight we have a very special guest. I think you have
Yes.
seen this guy like donkey times. He's one of our best guru that come in and thought about something crazy that blown our mind away, right? So this is really something that this is the reason why we brought him in, because he's kind of like a tiger to us, right? And we just want to unleash the power of the year of tiger into
Tiger in the world of marketing.
Yeah, man, the tiger in the world of marketing. So that's the reason why we have Maverick here tonight. So wait, let me show the names just to make sure. So guys, if you're watching this live, right, just say hi wherever you are doing this from. Yeah, Bob say Maverick wearing red. Hey, you only notice Maverick wearing red. All of us wearing red. Somehow I got a Mickey Mouse here purposely. I dug out this T-shirt from like donkey years ago. You guys never noticed. Sad lah. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, because I wear black all the time.
We
I mean,
invited the Mickey Mouse, the Disney's representative.
Yeah, I mean, I represent Disney lah. I hope I can lah. But then again, that's how you see. Manfred's so happy. Don't know for what reason.
By the way, I just want to share with you. If you watch NFL, the Super Bowl, whoever wins, then they will say one thing, no. Oh, see you in Disneyland. It's actually a paid speech, no. Paid speech. People who won, they are paid to talk in front of the camera and say, "See you in Disneyland."
Why must be Disneyland?
So because the attention is there, once they win, then they look forward to their first statement. The first statement, "See you in Disneyland." It's some sort of promotion. And obviously, Jason must be paid by Disney.
Hey, no better if it's paid by Disney.
Hey, okay, no. By all means, please, Disney, come and talk to me, man. I wear these all the time. I changed my whatever, right? I no longer want to wear the navy blue anymore. I go with this. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, now if you're watching this, tonight we have a very kind of like a loose show lah. But then again, I think since we have a very special guest tonight, right? But then probably we want to allow him to share with us a bit about what he's doing right now, Maverick. I realized you had you launched something, and first you have a dog, right? We met Bella, and then and you actually launched some framework about posting on social media. But what are you really busy about these few days? I mean, recently.
Probably getting told why I don't have red color stuff. So actually, I just realized my flag is red, so I can take off the jacket because it's getting very warm.
Yeah, my fittings here is also red. I actually can do with it, right? Let me change back to navy blue lah. Yeah.
But I've been doing quite a fair bit of research on textile wastage actually. So sorry to be a downer for those people. Just now, before we came on board, we were just saying, so whenever someone asks me, Maverick, how come you can't even buy a red color shirt? So it's not about the price, because it takes 2,700 liters of water to make one shirt, which means it's 2 years of drinking water to make one shirt. So like if you only wear the shirt one time, right, man, it's just a waste of water lah, environmental and whatnot, right? So
there goes the wedding gown industry, man.
Oh yeah, man.
True, that's one. Just now we're talking about jeans. Jeans was 7 years of water as well. Just for one pair.
That long.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think sometimes we consumerism. So, but very funny because all four of us are marketers, right? Our job is to help businesses move products off the shelf, and yet now we are talking about us telling them not to buy stuff. So not very good stuff. Okay, what I've been really doing for the last couple of days is decking up this new studio. I don't know whether you can hear, if you on the headset, you can still hear the echo. So I realized
the echo is okay with me.
As long as we didn't hear fireworks, okay already.
Curtains. But I realized the bigger your place, you have echo and reverbs. So you all can't hear the echo, but I'm hearing my own echo right now. So which is tough. But last time in the smaller room with just like a storeroom, I realized I never have an echo problem. So bigger units, especially the ceiling. If the ceiling is higher, if you don't have enough fabric stuff, that's tough.
Well, I always thought the echo works on small spaces. So obviously my size is wrong.
Okay, also because my positioning, because I thought I want to create some depth at the back.
Correct.
So I'm
Oh,
actually
yeah.
looking at a corner. So whenever there's a corner, it's a 90 degrees, right? So I think the sound will just bounce there. Yeah, it's just, yep. So if you ask me what I've been busy with, just shifting away things. Yeah, and because prior to that, also learning some stuff about YouTube marketing. So one of the reasons why setting up this studio is also there's another wall over here that's white color. So the idea is to have different backgrounds because we
you
are
can shift,
going to YouTube marketing this year, which I think is going to be
Awesome.
big. Yeah, although very slow to enter the game, but well, with Jason leading the way, why not, right?
I
Yep.
mean,
So that's
I wouldn't
pretty
say
much what I've
leading
been
the way
doing.
lah. I wouldn't say leading the way,
Yeah.
but I do agree that YouTube is one area that everybody have to start looking into because like the other day I was just sharing in my workshop talking about YouTube marketing. Essentially, I think social media is getting very fragmented, but then again, right, YouTube is a place where kind of like everybody is going to. Like your kids
Correct.
at 1-2-year-old, that's where you actually feed them, right? I call this the digital pacifier. What the hell? And then basically, when you grow old, you got nothing to do. You stay home, you watch YouTube. Like the other day, I mean, in the past few days, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I actually do a lot of research on YouTube. And it's not like a social media because YouTube is not a social media. It's a place where we are there with the intention to consume information.
Correct.
So I think it's really a place you need to look into. So yeah, if you guys are interested, you can actually go to my YouTube channel if you're here. I've actually shared the video in all the trainings that I did. The last one was the one that I actually did last Friday, talking about my YouTube learning journey. So I think that's a good one. So Manfred,
Yes.
but what are we going to talk about today?
Not me talk about lah. It's just that I suggested since this is the start of the year,
All right.
let's go back to the basic. So the topic today is actually marketing fundamentals.
Interesting. Marketing fundamentals. But Maverick, before we start with Manfred's questions, right? I mean, I don't know. I wing it if you can catch this. What do you think are the most important fundamentals for marketers to master?
Wow.
That's a good one.
Okay, in this day and age, right? I think curiosity, because
Like
if you say technology, I think you just can't catch up anymore. Like I think there's 198 social media platforms today. So I mean, we have like 3 big ones over here, like with LinkedIn and Facebook and whatnot. But we have to kind of prepare for all the new social media is going to come. It's going to get more fragmented actually. So like for example, Clubhouse. So eventually the smaller groups, so you won't see another Facebook anymore. I think okay, I could be wrong, but you won't see another big Facebook anymore. Is even as big as Clubhouse was, right? It never reached the scale of Facebook. So what does it tell us? It basically tells us that people actually, they are selective on what platforms they actually go for. So and just actually what you mentioned about YouTube is interesting because YouTube is not, they call it social media platform, but if you don't comment, you don't like or do anything, right? It's just another TV, which means that it's just going there for the sake of consumption, right? So that's why a lot of times when marketers or even those kids who are studying marketing, they always ask me what is what's one skill that they need to have. I say rather than skill, I would focus on attribute. If you can continuously be curious, like just like what Jason mentioned, I'm curious with YouTube, and YouTube is 2008, right? Started in 2008.
Yeah.
It's been there for for
16
almost
years
15
already.
years.
Yeah, 15, 16
Yeah, there are
years.
still new things to actually look at. There's new stuff on Facebook as well. So if the moment we say, I think I know enough about Facebook already, then guess what? They're just going to come and surprise you with something else, right? So if you can always be curious with human behavior as well, like just what Jason just mentioned. If we know that YouTube people go to YouTube to consume, right, which means that the video that we create have to be of a certain length, the quality have to be there to engage them as well. Those hyper short TikTok kind of videos the technique may not work on YouTube again. So I think if we always have the curiosity, right, we always like to experiment. So if you ask me fundamentally, that's curiosity. So 2 ways to apply this. If you are a business owner, if you're hiring a marketer, how do you find someone that's curious, right? Just ask them, hey, in the last 3 months, what's a new discovery or something that you learn about either yourself or something that you do. If the guy can't don't know what to answer, right?
Gone.
Or that then you know already lah. The
Yeah.
person is not just growth mindset, but they are just not naturally curious.
What about the second one?
Oh, second one would be for ourselves. Have a growth. I realize growth have to be intentional. So if you don't set aside the 1-2 hours, I think Andrew, you mentioned it before. Like, do we set aside some time to just consume all the video one shot, or just do it ad hoc? I realize if you don't set aside the time, right? If you don't have a plan, like this year, for example, me, I want to focus on doing YouTube. So first month is post-production work, for example. So set a plan to learn about post-production stuff. What are the lightings I need to use and stuff like this. If it's not deliberate, right, you can wing it, but I think it's better for you to plan and let those other stuff that wing it to be spontaneous. So as you discover, because if not, you're just sitting by the bus stop waiting for information to come. What if the bus change the route that day? Then guess what? No information is going to come. So those two things I think would be useful as a fundamental.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So guys, if you're watching this, right, I'm not sure why you're here. It's second day of Chinese New Year anyway, but if you're
we are
really
so curious,
kind of
right? So
if you're curious about anything, okay, I would recommend that you post your questions in the chat, because this is where we will kind of like do whatever we can to kind of like satisfy your curiosity, the level we can. But then again, seriously, I think Manfred has got a lot of very interesting questions. I think it's jumping here and there, but then again, let's go by. I'll bring up the questions one by one now. And Manfred, you wanted to say something?
I'm saying that because it's jumping here and there, because I want to have variety. I don't want to zoom in into something.
I can look at the questions. I feel very interesting. Okay, let's go with the first one.
We're going to use Manfred's question as a trigger for us to.
I think it works. It works.
To someone else.
Let's go.
So we're just going to trigger something. There you go.
Let's go.
We talk about platform. Wait. No. I don't want this. I bring up this one. This one.
Yes.
Direction, strategy, tactics, skills, and tools.
You see,
you powerful, man. You pack so many questions in one. How?
Now, you see, this is a whole package thing that I see.
Okay.
So I met a lot of people for the past few months. So a lot of people keep approaching me, hey, I need to learn Facebook. I need to do Google search. Yeah, then the thing is, it still don't work. It's not the tool is not working. This is a tool level. Okay, let's don't delve into that story. As a marketer, I tell stories. Since this is Chinese New Year, the 12 Zodiac, so I share a simple story with you all. Just bear with me. Bear with me for a while. So I think you all heard before the tortoise and the hare racing, right?
Wait, storytelling have to do storytelling. Wait, story, Eric. Not you. Let me bring out the storytelling.
The rabbit and the tortoise racing.
Okay.
Right? So imagine if the rabbit has a Ferrari and the tortoise has a minivan. So this is the two. So you think, confirm is the rabbit, the hare will race because he got a Ferrari. So this is 2 level. So you think that you're there already. But skills involved. So if the rabbit or the hare doesn't drive very well in Ferrari is too powerful for him, he might not win. So that's skills level. Okay. But skills level is not sufficient. You need tactics as one level up. Say example, if the rabbit actually has the Ferrari and he can drive a Ferrari very well, but he go and take the country road, uneven road, he never take the highway. So the tactic might not be correct. And above all, the strategy, the direction is the most important. So say example, from Singapore, I want to go KL, but the rabbit say, I don't care, I want to head south. I want to head south to go KL. Everybody will know what Singapore go KL is heading north. So your direction, your strategy is wrong. So that's the most fatal part. So elaborating this story is that a lot of times I meet people, they keep saying, I need Facebook, I need the skill. But your direction, your tactics, not there. Then you blame on the skills and the tool. I think this is not very fair. So this is the reason I was telling this very simple story about the direction of strategy, the tactics, the skills, and the tool.
Very interesting story. Very interesting.
So my question is, which one comes first?
Which one comes first? Normally, I think it's the strategy will come first. You think your direction. how are you going to do? Who's your the market or your target audience? What are the unmet needs? What's your product and services that can really capture their attention? Then follow up with how you're going to market the things. So the part that the unmet needs are a lot of people didn't clearly address or even mention about the market size, total addressable market size, unserved market size, how big. And normally this kind of things is the minor detail. I give you one example for Singapore case. Last time I served my national service, when I get out of camp, every 500 plus people come out. Everybody call taxi. Then the time is still calling. Then the main comfort line all jam up. Nobody can go anywhere. Everybody is very upset. But this thing keep happening every weekend. Nobody is doing anything. So there's a gap. And nobody addressed it. Then came Uber and Grab. Then they addressed the problem. As in, you wanted the transport, but you don't want to talk to someone, because no matter how many hotline you call, 500 plus people all at one shot at one area, how to serve? And the hotline cannot pick up the call at 500 people at one shot. So you need an app. Although I admit the app also unable to get 500 people all at one time, but at least it solved a partial about. So a lot of times people didn't see the detail. You're upset. Such a stupid problem. This comfort is not solving my problem. I wanted to go home now. So this is the addressable market. So how are you able to provide a need, the unmet need? So this thing is never been addressed. I see a lot of business and I come to a conclusion which kind of very interesting. I don't know for Malaysia, but for Singapore, I think it's before COVID, it's relatively easy to do business. Anyhow, don't need to think about market size, don't need to think about unmet. Then got business already. But ever since COVID happened, everybody suffer because market size reduced. So the proper marketing thing wasn't there. So hence this question comes out. Okay, enough means of talking. Let's our guest and our fellow co-host.
You brought us to don't know where, kind of like. But then again, I think it's a very good question where I think what you're trying to address, correct me if I'm wrong, Manfred. I mean, I think what you're trying to bring out here is a lot of people look at the problem. I mean, they don't look at the problem as a whole. They only look at what they believe.
Yes. They got a product and service. I believe you will want to do, but I never do survey. I never understand my customer. I never ask whether you want or not. You think that he's really Steve Jobs. I believe I want, then you confirm will want also. So that's one very fatal thing. Then the whole thing cannot market, cannot push. You send out Facebook, you send out Google, nobody click already, don't want to sign up already, don't want to buy.
Okay. I don't know whether you guys catch this the way I catch this. It's kind of like an entrepreneurship question.
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's just a marketing.
Correct.
Because the way I look at it, right? So I got a privilege of talking to this guy who kind of tell me like, because marketers, we are all marketers over here, we are good at strategy and tactic. But a lot of business consultants, right? Last time it used to baffle me like, hey, if you're good in business, marketing is one part of it. How come you can't hire me to do the marketing consultancy part? Because business, there are 4 functions: SMOF, sales, marketing, operation, and finance. So they only can see things from a certain level. At the tactic level, right, that's where marketers or sales or whatnot, or even finance. So even at the business level, they will know, hey, we need to do more foreign investments. Okay, but I don't know what kind of foreign investments are. You go and figure it out. So the finance guy, the CFO, going to figure it out. So we need to first differentiate what is the tactic and what is the strategy. So at the business level, it's strategy. At the marketing level, it's tactic. Because, okay, simple example, sell chicken rice. So there's this uncle nearby, sell chicken rice for $5. Okay, so I saw his business very good. So okay, I go there and basically I say, you know what, I'm a new guy. I make the same chicken rice and I'm gonna charge it at $4.50. Okay, I do $10. So my tactic that I use is I give 10% cheaper, and I managed to steal some of the customers over. And then after that, he decided to go free fall. You know what? $2 per nasi lemak, which means that I'm for chicken rice. And then in my mind, I'm thinking that, damn it, like for every chicken rice that I sell at $2, right? If I really follow that tactic, I'm gonna lose money, man. So I don't know how the heck that he's going to make money because I didn't know that he supplies to all the chicken rice stalls in Klang Valley. So that stall he opened up is just to entertain friends only. So we sometimes don't see the strategy, we see the tactic. So if we apply that to marketing, right? So for example, let's say Andrew is my competitor. Both of us do email marketing consultancy. And every time I see his posting, he go to LinkedIn, he do posting, and then I also follow. But that is the tactic. Tactic is something that people see. But I didn't know that after he posts, the moment someone comment, he PM the tepi, he PM that on the site. And then that's how he actually gets the sale. Yeah, that's the part that I don't see. So I will copy of Andrew's strategy. I just do posting. After 1 month, I get nothing. And then I see he changed car already. Damn it. So I say, oh, maybe I'm lucky or stuff. It's actually not that I'm unlucky or what. I copied the wrong thing. If I had copied his strategy, my tactics could be different. I would have probably arrived at almost the same result. But if you copy the tactic, sometimes we can get deviated. Yeah, that's what I thought. So there's always we must differentiate what's the strategy and what's the tactic first.
That I totally agree, 100%. So I think what Manfred was trying to bring out here is you believe a lot of people focus too much on the tactic, but fail to see the strategy side of things. That's why when you're talking about you want to learn Facebook, you want to learn YouTube and all that, right? But eventually you're just looking at, I just want to learn to do it, but you never try to understand the fundamental, what is really the big picture that connects all the dots.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that applies to a lot of people also because a lot of people
because they see other people doing it and seem to be successful. They say, okay, the only way to grow your sales is to advertise on Facebook or
no,
whatever.
But it's I think like here, Jason, you're an expert in Facebook, and then Andrew, you're an expert in email. But we all know that in the funnel, these two have to work hand in hand because the Facebook ads that Jason does, maybe 1 out of 10 buy on the spot. The other 9 is like, I don't know yet. So they need some nurturing. That's where email come in. Because if you continue the nurture with ads, you can, but a bit expensive because retargeting and stuff like that is going to cost a bit. But if you nurture them 2 ways, if you do ads and you also do emails, right? So it's going to help rack up the trust a lot better. So I think, back to Manfred's question, I think a lot of times people say, hey, I think when you are a hammer, every problem you see is a nail. So if you are a Facebook ad expert, right? I have no need to do Instagram, no need to do TikTok, just silent all on Facebook only. But it's just one tactic, okay? And Andrew cannot say everything also have to do email. Actually, I can just shoot Andrew off. Then where you get the emails in the first place?
True.
Right.
If you don't do organic or paid ads, you're not going to fill up your mailing list. So I think that's where a strategist and a tactician is different. So we must know awareness before change. We must know what's the difference between the two first.
Okay.
Just to add, sometimes it's omni-channel, on and offline. So online, the exposure for a person will be very short. If you have a physical store, you have many outlets. Say, example, in Singapore, you have many outlets. Your purpose is actually to draw them to the store. As in, say, example, I give you, since you've been buying product ABC, I'm giving you a free sample ABC if you come and collect from the store. Of course, then people see this, people will come. Then at least know that your email is working correctly. The email is real.
Yes.
Don't no response. Then you come. Then your salesperson will say, oh, thank you. This is the product ABC. Please sign here. Then we got extra, like McDonald's, upsell, cross-sell again. You buy this one at 50% off or something like that. When people keep interacting, because physical shop, the touch point is more.
Correct.
Buy more from you. They say, oh, this is the latest stuff. They come here to get free stuff. End up, they buy this, they buy that. So that's the purpose. So there's multiple things. The on and offline is important. So
Hey, Manfred, you brought up a really good point with retail. Okay, so another example we can give is now Chinese New Year, we're supposed to give tactic or strategy that's more Chinese New Year, right? So, so because a common soft drink that people drink during Chinese New Year is Coca-Cola because red ong ma. So if Lotus or
whatever hypermarket,
decided to do promo, which means that normal price 30 ringgit, but because Chinese New Year pre-sale 15 ringgit, no idiot, right, would walk to that mart just to bring 15 ringgit only. The moment you go in, sure you realize that milk powder also cheap. This one is cheap, ma.
Yeah.
So if let's say a grocery shop look at Giant Grocer doing that, it's like, okay lah, you do $15, I also can do. That one's the tactic lah. The strategy is that the moment someone go in, they will end up buying other stuff. But if your grocery shop don't have that retail or merchandising setup, a lot of people literally go in to buy the $15 thing and they'll just leave, and you end up losing money. And don't forget, the bigger companies is the credit lah, the credit terms that they get. So all these are the strategies that I think when we work in the company, we know what are the things that happen inside. But from the outside, we only see 15 ringgit for a carton of Coke. Okay lah, I also follow that tactic. So that's a lead loss strategy. It's not a lead loss tactic. It's a lead loss strategy, you see. Yeah.
Right.
Nice way to differentiate. So
also say example, now you already purchased $20. So another $10 product, you get a free ang pao. Ang pao itself, the cost is very low, but they know that you are greedy. Then you surely want to buy this and that also. So you never mind, I just buy. So the cart size is increased, you see.
Yeah.
The little things, no, just ang pao. Now it's festive season. The ang pao, you really like the design, very nice. Got the tiger or meow meow, I can move some more.
I think this is the true story of a guy who fell. Anyway, so I mean, guys, just want to say hi to those who actually commented. Right, if you're watching this, share with us your thoughts. Just put it in the comments so that we can actually bring up this discussion. Good job to Manfred, really, to bring up these kind of crazy questions as a start.
Right.
But then again, just to say hi to whoever who's watching this. Hi, Anjali. Okay, Anjali is one of our guests. Anjali is coming back, right? Anjali, are you coming back? I'm not sure. Okay, so so Anjali is watching and Adrian is watching. 恭喜发财 and 恭喜发财. Just enjoy your Chinese New Year celebration. And Richard, I think this is when Maverick was sharing about salespeople, marketers, and all that. But Richard actually put a remark. Marketers have to think like salespeople. It's alike, Marketers have to think like salespeople. No? Well, what do you think?
Actually, marketeers and salespeople must work hand in hand, because the salespeople are the front people who actually communicate with the customers on a daily basis. So they get a lot of intel. They really know how the customer look like in groups, in family, with how many kids, 2 kids, 3 kids. Is the husband talking or the wife talking? What are they most concerned? What are they most buy? What are the concerns? What are the things they want to buy but they never buy? What are things they always buy without thinking? So all this intel is valuable for marketeers. And marketeers, please don't always sit inside the office. Go talk to the salespeople. So of course, must buy them coffee and then they'll tell you everything.
But I think if you were to follow Maverick's thread, marketers should think like business people. What do you think?
True. Okay, I don't want to put anyone in the silo, but the truth is that all of us have done sales before, and we also know salespeople. They are some of the most egoistic people on the planet. The purpose of a marketer is to protect the salesperson's ego. Because when the salesperson ego is on, right, man, they're on a winning streak. They can close sales, which is good. So how can a marketer juggle the salespeople's ego? By sending them qualified prospects. So the moment the salesman, I'm the king of the hill, you give me 10 prospects, I can close all, right? It actually does the business really, it helps the business really a lot. So I think segregation is never never important. Like what Manfred mentioned, I think sales and marketing, they have to work together. But where business owners, the bosses come in is, you cannot measure the marketer with sales. Because with revenue and stuff, because the marketer's job is to get qualified prospect. So you should measure how many impressions you got, how many leads generated and stuff. So the KPIs are different. So that's why sometimes some business owners will ask, hey, Maverick, can you train my salesperson to become better marketers or not? I'll be honest, if the salesperson know how to do marketing, right, they will leave the company already. I can just go and look for all I need right now is another product or service, or I can just take Jason's Facebook course. If I'm a salesperson who knows marketing, I'll just go, hey, Jason, you got a good product. Hey, come on, I sell for you, give me commission. Hey, I don't have to work for Jason. I don't have to work for a boss anymore, but I can take any product to sell. So that's why large companies, they always separate the function one. salespeople, marketer. I think sometimes they also like these two to fight so that these two don't realize that, man, if I know each other's skills, I can tell the boss really. Yeah. So
Divide and conquer at its best.
But
It's
most of the
quite
time,
true, though. I
most of the time,
think it's true. Yeah.
most of the time,
Yeah.
they're still marketing quarrel because of the MQL and SQL. So they think this is
Correct.
qualified to pass the sales. No, this one cannot. This one won't. This is not qualified.
Tire kicker lah, waste my time lah. Yeah. So
But one thing, the marketeers, some marketeers are also held ransom by the revenue because the lead don't convert to sale, also their fault. Because then I say, if the salesperson cannot make it, then how? Then my fault also. But you get it lah, also lah. Then the other thing is what we want to share is, even you have a good salesperson, getting a good salesperson is really quite difficult. Building a good sales team is even more difficult. Then you want to duplicate the sales team, also provided the sales team willing to share. But no matter how you have a physical sales team, you are going to have a lot of difficulty scaling. And digital marketing can scale. Every time people ask me why digital marketing, I always say can scale. Scaling is the most magical part that traditional marketing having a lot of problem doing. Digital marketing can do that. But of course, I'm saying digital marketing is not magic. I always like to tell people digital marketing is not ATM. It's not you key in the PIN number, all the money will come out. No, it doesn't work this way. You still have to know your customer, know their needs. How are you able to address their needs itself via all the messengers? Like Facebook, you come out with 10 different copies. You see which angle actually will respond. Then you know, this audience, this segment actually are able to have some reactions to based on some of the messages.
Correct. But actually, Manfred, you mentioned a point that's interesting. So, GE has been, Great Eastern has been one of my clients lah. So nothing sensitive, but I'm just mentioning something that we have all observed anyway. So, Great Eastern in Malaysia, they are the largest insurance company, 20,000 over agents. And then AIA is pretty close lah. But here's the interesting thing. So a good analogy of sales and marketing in the same industry, because both companies are selling the same stuff. They are selling insurance policies. So even as consumers, right? Frankly, I don't care like AIA or what. You give me the best plan can already. I don't care which company you're from. So how can they differentiate? Actually, the strategy itself, you notice is very different. So if you drive around Klang Valley, right? If you just look at the billboards only, if you look at a GE billboard, 60% of the time is on recruitment. Come and join the company, become an insurance agent, Whereas AIA, you will see they actually talk about their product. They get Nicole David. They launched this AIA Vitality Card, which I think is brilliant because anytime when I queue up at Jaya Grocer, I can hear one, Mister, you got AIA Vitality Card or not? After listening to 10 times, right, I will take up my phone and I'll Google what the heck is this Vitality Card.
Very true.
Even better than billboards actually, because
true.
I just get on listen and already on the phone, I was just curious. So these are two companies, AIA versus GE. GE is more sales centric. Why? Because they realize that if I got more sales agent, can sell more, so I recruit. Whereas AIA understood the concept of marketing. If I can make my product easy to sell, it makes my salesperson's job easier. And back to what Manfred mentioned, I can scale marketing. But it's going to be quite hard for me to scale my sales force. If 20,000 is 20,000, to get another 100 more, it's not easy, man. But to scale marketing, if I know this ad do well, right, boom, I put in another 100K. And then it's going to make my salesperson's job easier. And more people want to join AIA right now because my company market. So that's why if you look at local franchises in the past, franchisees always complain, stupid, I give you royalty to the franchisor, the main company, you all never do marketing for me. But McDonald's, after giving a few percent, they always do marketing for us. Because big companies understand if the marketing is done well, the salesperson's job become easier. So that's another case in point as well. Different tactics, different strategies, but same product.
Since you talk about insurance normally got two main things that is the most important. One is the brand. People seen the brand before. Great Eastern AIA won't collapse one. Will be there one. They got confirm can get the claim one. So that's the branding part. That people see your brand. Not some kuching kudak brand come in, then you don't know. I don't know what brand this is. Okay, that's the one part. So the brand name. Then the other part, the reason when people buy insurance is heavily relying on the insurance agent, whether the client really like the agent or not. If the agent give me the kind of face I don't like, then sorry, I don't feel your love, your dedication, then people won't buy. So mainly these two areas. But I also agree what Maverick has just shared with us. But their tactics, I don't want to comment. I got a lot of friends working there. They call me.
Hey, it's my client, okay? So there's even more.
Hey, yeah, man. But I think it's fair. This is really a good comparison. It actually gives us a very, good comparison between these two job scopes. So I think there is no right or wrong, Richard. But thanks for bringing up this point. But I guess eventually, depending on what the company wants, and marketing and sales both are very important. And I do agree that they work hand in hand. And somehow or other, you probably want to consider divide and conquer, right? So that's kind of like how a lot of bosses are doing anyway. So, okay, now Richard has a good question. Thank you so much for sparking that discussion. Let me
Just
see.
to do a shout out to our friends from LinkedIn, because our app apparently cannot track LinkedIn's responses.
That's right.
So we've got Jeffrey from Engine Baylor, we've got Sharon in, and Anjali, of course, Rizal, and obviously Bob. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Bob is also watching on YouTube. That's right.
Bob is also watching YouTube.
Bob is watching both places.
This is called omnipresent, so
this is omnipresent. He has multiple
people watch
devices.
it from multiple platforms.
Okay. So Bob was there, right? He was commenting the Maverick wearing red, right? So that's a good one. Okay, now, wow. Good conversation. I like that. I think somehow rather, because we were actually kind of like having a discussion, how do we want to position this show? But then again, first thing first, this is a show that started by just three dudes wanting to come together and chat, and on top of that, we invite some friends like Maverick, to come over to share their thoughts. But then again, I guess the value of the show is really through the conversation, like how Maverick shared with us some of the case studies or some of the examples of good podcasters that he listened to. So if you guys have any questions about marketing or kind of like digital marketing or marketing in general, feel free to pop in the chat, whether you are on whichever platform that you are in right now, right? But I want to lead this, discussion into another question that Manfred brought up. This is very interesting. I mean, this is kind of like a 1,000-year question.
Branding and marketing.
What's branding and versus marketing? What do you think, Manfred? Since you brought up this question, what is your thought? Give me another rabbit and tortoise kind of like.
No story. Yeah. Okay, marketing, I think everybody knows. Marketing is to deliver your message to generate interest.
But before that, sorry, Manfred, I want to creep this up. This is a scary comment that I want to bring it up. You're watching from Maverick's house.
Okay, what's that, man?
I don't know what you guys are talking
Which
about.
house, man? Because unless I have to go out and see that.
Yeah. Okay, Manfred, continue. Sorry about that.
So I would say marketing is to deliver your message to generate interest. Then for branding, is when we receive the mark to share the stories, to influence the message, to nurture the relationship, and to build the trust and customer loyalty. So they are doing beyond the message itself.
So which one should come first?
Normally, when I start this journey, I thought branding will come first because people will relate to the brand. But after you do so much, I think branding is slightly more after the marketing. How you guys think about this?
I think branding and marketing happen simultaneously. When you're marketing, you're branding yourself. When we are doing every action that we do, when we appear, I mean, to me, it's this. Every time you appear and show up, that's marketing. Every bloody video that I posted on my YouTube channel in the past, close to 700 now, these are all marketing. But every time I do marketing, I'm positioning myself as a brand. People know me as Jason Gan. People know my characteristic. People feel me in a way. They either like me or hate me. We have haters now anyway, but it's kind of things how it goes. So I don't know. What do you think? That's my take.
So branding is like your personality, and marketing is how you show up or where you show up.
That's to me. That's to me. I don't know.
Okay. Like Jason, now the Mickey Mouse guy.
Yeah. Okay. The way I look at it is because as as a dropout, so a lot of times this kind of stuff, right? It's like people are always asked when I was younger, what's the difference between all this kind of stuff? Because not only they don't teach you in school, but I think they got teach like this. I wasn't listening. Plus, I was
Same here, man.
but I think one of the best ones that I got, which was really simple, because if it's not simple, usually we forget anyway. So branding is always the story that the target audience, it could be clients, it could be prospect, the target audience play in the head. So it's the story that they play in their head. It's not the story you tell. Because sometimes the story you tell and the story they play in the head is different. Okay, sometimes you can force them, hey, no, we are like this, but in their mind, they already think of something else already. So branding is always a story that, almost like Inception of the movie, how they plan the idea. So for example, iPhone, for example, when someone, I before switching over to a Mac, almost 10 years ago, I used a Sony Vaio, and super expensive, like 9,000 plus ringgit, which is almost 5-figure, way more expensive than a Mac. But I realized that whenever I take out the Vaio, right, nobody look at me. Like, I thought chicks would look at me, man, I'm carrying a 9,000 ringgit, laptop, and then I bring over to Starbucks, but nobody bothered. But when I downgraded to a MacBook Air, which is 3,000 plus only, I noticed people look at me. Okay, so price-wise, yeah. So because the moment I open, the light comes up, people are like, oh, Mac, wow, very creative, are you, Maverick? I'm like, okay, what gave you? I just open up my Mac and you immediately think that I'm creative. Because that's the message that Apple already planted in people. The moment Jason take out his iPhone and take a photo, wow, that photo sure nice one. Why? Because they're thinking about iPhone. Sekali his finger is blocking the camera also. People don't care. As long as he take out the iPhone and take a photo, it's going to be good. Now, that is the brand message that Apple has already put in. Now, where marketing comes in? Marketing comes in to magnify that message, which means that if Kanye West is using the iPhone, if let's say a really creative person, Jimmy Choo, for example, uses the iPhone, you see, creative people use a Mac. That's why all the smart people use a Mac. So marketing, the marketer's job is always a multiplier. So they multiply or magnify the story that's already in your head, social proof and stuff like this. So if you ask me which one comes first, it really depends. If your business is already running, you focus on brand. Which is your business already running, you got sales and stuff. But if you're starting that time, I think it's easier if you focus on marketing first, because marketing, there's more ROI that you can track. Which means that, and the start that time, you don't have a lot of money. Okay, so you get very kanchiong, you get very desperate, because branding is a slightly longer term game. So when you are starting the business, you're like, hey, how come I do 6 months with it, I still don't get any sale? If you're doing too much branding, you become stressed. But it doesn't mean your branding don't work. It just takes some time for it to work. So I would suggest, if you are starting, focus on marketing first, because that's the closer to the conversion process. But if your ship is already quite big, then you got some money, the customers already there, then focus on branding.
Because a lot of people think about branding is just name and logo.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But then again, seriously, I mean, just want to check, Maverick. I'm not sure whether it's me or you. Your audio is kind of like,
There's a static sound, right?
Static.
Is it coming from who?
The audio system is also excited when Maverick share.
I think it's Maverick's side.
Yeah.
Static a little bit. Yeah.
Static. Is static from your side or my side?
When he was talking, they are static.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
So just want to make sure that it's,
that's
but then again, Adrian agreed and said, well said, great explanation. Thank you, Adrian.
Yes.
Thanks, Maverick. I think so. You guys, I mean, basically branding and marketing. Yeah, I would agree that definitely if you want to get your business afloat, then marketing first. In fact, sales and marketing, just get the money coming in first. Then branding is something that you have to.
It's over time.
Yeah, it's over time, and you have to. It's all about showing up. Sometimes. I mean, if you're talking about personal branding.
No, actually, like it or not, like what you guys are doing every week. Remember, you're counting 72 episodes already, right?
Mm.
Indirectly, you are basically portraying consistency. So you don't say that you are consistent. Hey, believe me, I'm Jason Gunn. I'm very consistent. You can't say stuff like that, because the more you say, Jason, if you say you're consistent, means you're not, right? But by your action, every time 10 o'clock, I switch on Wednesday and I see you, that builds consistency. Now that one is brand. Now you don't have to mention that we are consistent anymore. The seed is already there. Just like how some banks, right? Their values, their company values is integrity. And like, seriously, you are a bank, like, that one is automatic assume, which means I put in money with you, I trust you to have integrity. If you have to put integrity as your company value, right? Well, that one, okay, maybe I want to deposit somewhere else already.
Right.
So
I think they're implying that they got integrity, others don't.
No, it's like saying, hey guys, I'm honest. I'm very honest one. I'm very, very honest one.
100% honest one. Look at my face.
Yeah,
Confirm, sure, honest. I think,
Okay,
yeah.
Just to interrupt a bit, for Apple, the branding is actually more challenging the status quo, think different. That's the underlying the why. People buy their why. Then
correct.
How they do that? Because they design things beautifully, make it simple, make it user friendly, and it so happens they sell computers and handphone. The what and the brand part just want to share a bit. I think the brand is more than a logo, a color scheme of product. And the brand is more like a gut feeling of the product or service or organization. The people's perceptions is formed based on the facts that you provided to them.
Are you reading?
Yeah.
Oh, damn good explanation. Like come from textbook, 100%. Now I'm just saying just teaching you lah. Powerful, I tell you.
That one teacher material already.
Teachers like that lah. Teachers like that.
Teacher already on.
Well, like actually, what Manfred talked about logo and all that, right? It's a symbol, ma. So I was just rewatching the Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, right? So Batman. So the moment
awesome movie, man.
Yeah, the moment the light comes out at night, right? All the criminals are in fear already. But actually, Batman could be asleep. He could be dead actually. But the moment the logo is there, shit, they're scared. But yes, Andrew, I mentioned, as I just realized that it was made. The Dark Knight Rises was 2008, right? 2010. But I realized the movie aged really well. Like if you watch it back. Other than handphone, usually handphone is the worst really. You know how dated a movie is when you see the handphone that they use. Like Matrix, for example. So my son had never watched Matrix before. So I'm thinking until he's like maybe 20 years old, only show him the Matrix, right? But the moment he see the Nokia banana phone, that's why it's old movie already. But the whole concept of the movie, I realized it over 10, 12 years, right? It still holds very well. That's why I believe Christopher Nolan. So being is a great storyteller, and that is his brand as well. Correct. Frankly, if you ask me, his later movies like Tenet, all that is not as good as the previous one. But people still bang on him. Why? His brand is really there, and whatever shit movie he wants to do right now, he can do lah. But last time I had to quiet because the branding is not there again. So that itself is also a story. So I think as a marketer, sometimes you also as a philosopher, almost everything you can see branding, marketing, or sales in process, even though it's not in business.
Yeah. I guarantee you, every time you watch his movie first time, you don't understand, and you have to pay ticket to watch the second time, third time, fourth time. That happens to me. So he's earning a lot of money from the followers. Then somehow with all the conspiracy theory, people see it in a different angle. Then it's blown up in the internet.
Yeah, people can discuss. Like Inception until today, Inception is 2010. Until today, 12 years, people still ask, hey, actually the gasing got dropped or not? Yes. Until today, still got people ask.
Did he really go back? No. Yes,
it's what Dark Knight and Inception is. Sometimes when you don't feel like working, you just go back to these movies. You just don't want to watch the rest already. It's always refreshing. Yeah, it comes from different angles.
Correct. But having said that, I have to credit the Hans Zimmer, the composer, because I realized music composers, right?
Oh yes.
If you watch a movie without the music, man, the actors have to act until shit come out. Then only the emotion will come out.
Yeah.
But if without the music, so I realized that sometimes marketers are also like the music composers, because the salesperson is the one who bring the sale back, but who engineered the process. I'm not saying the marketers should take all the credit, but it's a team effort. So after watching a few movies, and someone actually challenged me, try to watch the movie without the music. Man, Gladiator, Russell Crowe, it won't bring a single tear to your eye if there's no music. Also done by Hans Zimmer, so one of the greatest composers out there.
So next time we watch movie, we should look out for who actually created the music.
Imagine Star Wars without the theme song. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Or the Darth Vader's theme.
Correct. That's when he become very small, or like
it's like one
no
guy
presence anymore, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the music is marketing. So Darth Vader already got some kind of brand, but the moment the music come, even sometimes he didn't appear, the music is there, his presence is felt already. So that's the power of marketing.
Right.
So that's why brand and marketing, you have to go
hand in hand.
So you cannot fight actually. So because it's too integral.
We set up the scene for the sales to happen.
Yes. So in a way, sales and marketing can fight. Branding and marketing cannot fight. It's like a different layer kind of stuff, in a way.
Correct.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. So, Manfred, anything to add on? Else, which question should I bring up now? I don't know.
Any questions from
this question, I actually wanted to put what is branding versus marketing versus advertising. Actually, I want to put that. I was thinking the one three. Wow, making the question super complicated. No.
You started with the first complicated one already. What the hell?
Yeah.
Why stop there?
Hey, Adrian put a good quote. Marketers are the composers, salesperson is the singer.
Adrian
that's
is
true.
an artist. So marketers are the composers, the salespeople. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Thanks, Adrian. Thank you.
But different people can sing the same song to different results. So
very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Manfred can sing.
Can't.
I thought you wanted to sing one day. You say you're supposed to sing. Yeah. So which one, Manfred? This one. We go this one. This one, they're very deep, You need to explain a little bit.
This one actually quite interesting. This one actually I read somewhere, so I actually prepared something to break it up for your.
You have to bring a brand consultant. This kind of question.
So this one pass, the one.
Okay.
What? Or you want to go for this? Well, which one?
This one is quite interesting. Product market fit. This is just now what I briefly cover, because a lot of people didn't really think very well about the product market fit. So the target audience, obviously, the base of the pyramid,
correct.
The
Actually,
audience.
Manfred, just now you talk about Steve Jobs. Okay, because a lot of people will say that you create a product, people will come, because Steve Jobs said that, right? Okay, but you have to understand that Steve Jobs is three things. One, he's a genius. Second, he got shitloads of money behind him, investor-wise. And third, he's a dick. Okay, so if you don't follow his way, you're out of the company. So unless you are okay to beat these three things, you have to listen to the market. So not everyone can create a product. No need T9, no need the BlackBerry button, just a piece of glass can ready. Again, the three things are you have to be a genius first, you got money to back you up, and even these two things, you still need the big one. You have to be super stubborn. Because you see the vision before everyone else. So I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs would think that it's nothing wrong to want to become like Steve Jobs, but you need to take stock. Do you have that?
What it takes.
Yeah, correct. So end of the day, I think listening to the market is a good start first. Yeah.
A lot of companies are trying to, they try to emulate what Apple does with regards to marketing and ads and all things, but they fail to realize that Apple on average spends about $100 million in ads. And at one point there was a YouTube discussion with one of the agencies that's, imagine the agency TWA that's running for Apple, they actually set up a separate agency just to serve Apple. An agency spin-off just to serve Apple, nobody else. And that's kind of amount of money they spend. And when they run ads, the earlier days, when they were running ads for social media and all those things, they were not concerned about ROIs. They were not concerned about
Yeah.
engagement and all things. As far as they're concerned, I just want to spend 100 million on ads to make sure just flood the market.
Yeah.
Any one of us will say, "Wow, what sort of return, what sort of ROAS, and all those things." Those discussions never come across.
Correct.
So if you want to run, if you like us, a small company and try to act like Apple to advertise,
It's a suicide.
that's it, man.
Yeah, man.
Correct.
I totally agree. In a way, because it brought up a very good point. Immediately, it actually either you have to fulfill all three of them, not just one of them. Else you won't be able to just become Apple. And of course, provided everything must happen as it is.
Yeah.
So, well, good one. Product market fit is really something that you have to actually kind of like.
But
let
it's
the market
also,
decide.
also opportunity, right? So I mean, talking about phones, BlackBerry. So BlackBerry actually became mainstream because back then only business people would use it and stuff. And this was very long ago. Like, it became mainstream because of 911 bombing. Because after the bombing of the two towers, right, in New York. Sorry to bring it up, guys, for
Twin
US.
Towers.
Yeah. So what happened was that almost every other function doesn't work. You cannot call, you cannot SMS anything because of the disruption. Only BBM, only BlackBerry, the emails were going through. So because of that, a lot of people started adopting BlackBerry. And BlackBerry went sky high. This was in 2001 during the 9/11 bombing. So it's also opportunity as well. So yes, that one, would you say product market fit? The market wanted email because they realized that, and again, I have to set context, back then, nobody checked emails on their phone. They are busy playing Snake only. Okay, your phone can do calculator. Your phone is damn awesome already. So everyone want to check email, have to open computer, open laptop. So BlackBerry was the first that allows you to, just bring it around. They were creating pages. So from pages to that. So they capitalized on the opportunity at the time. Yes, BlackBerry is not as great anymore. Kena slaughtered left, right, center by iPhone. But it doesn't change the fact that if BlackBerry wasn't successful back then, it may not pave the way for Apple. So not to say who's good, who's bad, who lose or who win, right? But if you look back at the last 30 years, some mistakes were necessary to create whatever that we have today. So I think as a spirit of entrepreneurship, since you guys talk about digital marketing entrepreneurship as well, sometimes we make mistakes, but we'll never know the mistakes we make today, right? It may actually cause something good to happen further. So at the end of the day, just shut up and take action. If you think too much,
just keep doing. Just keep doing. Don't think. Yeah.
If you think too much, it's not entrepreneurship already. That one, you maybe going to become a lecturer or something.
Become a philosopher. I think that's better.
Yeah, philosopher don't need to do anything or not. Just think.
Or become a politician and also think, talk, but don't do.
We have a question coming from David. David C. Kyung. I don't know. I think let's call him David. What do you think of personal branding? That's a good one. It's a broad question. Personal branding. What do you want us to talk about the personal branding? To me, I think if you
say good,
important. But you have to do it right, and you can do it. You can do it fast in the digital era. I think if you want to apply back to the digital marketing side of things. So
actually, Manfred kind of answered that one just now when we were talking about insurance. So if two products are the same, you like it's either the person is your friend, or I always see this guy always all over social media. I think I can trust him now since he talks so much about insurance. So that's also personal branding, or personal branding for a point of, hey, that guy is a single mother. I think I should support her because I'm also a single mother as well. So that's also another form of personal branding. So if you ask me, what do you think of personal branding? I think it's important, especially now when there are so many competitors. Product, because of China, I think every product you can find a copycat at a lower price.
For personal branding, a lot of times when you mention this, I think of LinkedIn straight away, to be honest. But for personal branding, I think one of the very interesting example is property agent in Singapore. A lot of property, because my place is MOP as in 5 years already. So I have a swarm of property agents keep knocking at my door, giving flyers, putting inside, asking me to sell. And honestly, I take all their flyers seriously and examine and see the differences. None of
Hey, got
them.
put photo or not? I gotta ask
Huh?
this. Do they put their photo there?
Yeah, they put a photo. They put their photo, their contact number, the reason. But the reason cannot make it.
So the pretty one got higher chance, is it?
No, it's not getting my attention. Then the personal branding comes in is when I was on TikTok, people are talking about property as a value add, as in they tell you, but they are not asking me. They're not knocking on my door at the most inconvenient time when I'm cooking or washing. So when I'm ready, I'm receiving information, personal branding. So I've been reading and I'm watching his information about why the process, the stamp duty, when do you sell, property will not always forever go up, so and so forth. Then I learned something new. Then the gap between the influencer, he obviously is a property agent also, is smaller. And when the time comes, I really want to sell property, I will think of him. I might consider him.
Yeah.
Instead of all those flyers and keep knocking on my door. It's interrupting me at the worst time. So
do you mean in order to do effective personal branding, sorry to interrupt, Manfred, you have to do something out of the norm?
You have to do something effective that people will want to bring in the distance. Obviously, the flyer is not working. They give me the kind
Because
of
everyone is doing the same.
doing the same thing. The magnet to put on the calendar, put on the fridge one is also not working. I also throw away.
They put on the fridge somehow. Wow, go to that extent.
At least two. So they do different things, but the different thing is still not different enough. If I were them, I would do TikTok, because if I have a lot of knowledge on property in Singapore, there's this property Lim Brothers, which is doing very good on YouTube. I watched that interview. I was so shocked to hear they got staging. They got staging furniture. They say, okay, I'm going to do filming. Then they will bring in all the furniture, make this house like a palace, and the furniture will stay there for house visit until the house is sold. The effort they put in is like, I'm helping you to sell your house.
So if you want to sell, you should find him, no? Correct.
No, you find him because the service, they show you their service level is above and beyond. That is really a personal branding. That is, I cannot find someone who can do that level of commitment. Because staging furniture, someone, they change the whole place until, this place really worth so much money, I'm willing to pay. Because
actually, like what Jason, you mentioned, to do something that others don't, or to stand out, right? Which is true. Like, so very simple, like during Chinese New Year, I was just talking to Andrew as well, because he wished me first, 恭喜发财 lah. And I noticed he put my name there. So he personalized his WhatsApp message a bit.
Yeah, man.
So I shot a video back to him. So video is the hardest to, okay, you can do those generic video. 恭喜发财, 恭喜发财. So your grandma all the way to your sister-in-law get the same message. Doesn't stand out. But what is the cost of just turning on your WhatsApp and shooting a video message? I can tell you the cost, 27 seconds. It only takes you 27 seconds to shoot a personalized video. And it doesn't have to be June. I just, hey, hi Manfred, just want to wish you and your family, 恭喜发财, Happy New Year. Hey, let's talk soon. Actually, the first part only you change. The rest of the part is scripted, the same. But that is something that a lot of people don't receive. So again, is it digital marketing? I think so. Is it advertising? You don't put a lot of money. So sometimes people will say, hey, Maverick, that one cannot scale. Hey, if you're in the service business, right, and you're telling me that 27 seconds, you can't put in 27 seconds to build a relationship, I think I shouldn't be buying from you.
Thanks for giving up this one. This one comes back to the first question of the direction and the tactics and the skills and the tools also. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
But this one is just tactic only. It's just a one tactic that other people are not doing. Missing opportunity.
Correct.
Hey, 10 years ago, if I ask, hey, Jason, you must shoot a video, which 10 years ago, he has to shoot a video, burn
do everything set up,
and then mail out. And then, hey, Andrew, you received my DVD or not? I didn't receive. But now, everything's on the phone.
Correct.
And our phone, the front camera quality is so good right now that you just need decent lighting and maybe good microphone. Just a small thing that I think most people miss out. You don't have to do Facebook ads. You don't have to do email marketing. It's just pick up the phone and shoot a damn video.
In fact, all the contacts are in your phone already. You can do all this.
Exactly.
So you can still do this because we have another 13 days to go for Chinese New Year, right? So go do it.
The good thing with the phone is nobody's going to complain spam.
Yeah, man. Yeah, seriously, it doesn't go into spam. No,
Yeah.
no chance.
Oh,
I mean, if they delete you from the contact, then obviously you're not a friend anymore.
correct.
lah. So
But I can tell you this because I've been doing it since yesterday. 100% response rate. And response, not double take. People actually respond. So,
yes.
okay, you can say ads like the response rate, how much, email response rate, how much. But I think 100% is a bit hard
100% is damn good.
to beat. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
it's the
maybe
little things. Correct.
Yep. Yeah. So you get the idea. So the personal branding actually comes from the many faces. A lot of people would think that personal branding is something difficult to achieve. You know, I need to have a decent camera. I need to do all these things. To be very frank, personal branding is about things that you do. That's what I think.
How you show up?
How you show up.
Yeah.
How you show
How
up.
you show up?
You know, it's
Okay.
really how you show up.
Good
Okay,
point.
now we have two more questions. Let's try to cover this. First is coming from Richard. I mean, over time a little bit, guys, if you don't mind. Richard is asking ROAS sort of tactical metrics. Some marketing activities don't have direct link to sales. For example, top of mind. And then I think that's a statement. And then after that, he followed by another question, which is product services development as marketing. Thoughts on this? Wow, a bit difficult to catch this thing.
Yeah. But the good thing about, because his question is so vague, we can pick an angle and answer from the best angle that we can.
You just probably, we have one more question from Jeffrey, so we probably will spend like a bit. I mean, let's try to help Richard a bit over here. So
Yeah. Okay. If you ask me, I mean, just a short one. ROAS is a tactical metric. Yes, correct. But like what Andrew mentioned about what Apple did, just like putting their logos everywhere and stuff like this, that one you can still measure by impression. You know, if people visit your website, you can measure things like bounce rate and site visits and stuff like this. So, you know, so in a way, it is, you can still measure it. Branding sometimes is very hard to measure. I know when you change your logo from square to round, I cannot tell you how they calculate. But when you put a billboard somewhere on the highway, and let's say they say how many cars go by, you can do an estimate already. So I think if let's say your idea is visibility, like Russell Taylor is very good at doing air fryer. So what they did at Federal Highway, because they were targeting, I think, the Shah Alam and Klein folks, man. They just put the ads over there, 189 ringgit for
that's it.
Air fryer. Then their sales go up. So you can measure it directly. But even without that, right? I'll be honest, I didn't buy the air fryer for the longest time, but it triggered in my mind. When people ask me talk about air fryer, I always remember Russell Taylor, because every day I drive past, I saw him. So how do you measure that? Yes, you can, based on impression and frequency.
Yep. So that's that. Okay, I would agree. I don't want to dwell on that. So what about this product service development as marketing? Product service development as marketing. You mean that as you develop this thing?
Starter project.
Kickstarter. Oh, okay. Is that
just you crowdsource your basically you crowdsource your market first lah. It's like you have an idea to build something, and then you basically go and do focus group with your target customer, say that we are building this, and to see whether you like it or not. So this one, I mean, I'll take from the angle lah. So law of attractions author Michael Lozier. So he told me this because he's not an author. He if I'm not mistaken, he actually worked in the government office, but he's always fascinated with law of attraction. So what he did was that he actually paid someone to design his book cover. That was, but the book is not written yet. He just paid someone to do the book cover only, and every Thursday he will do a community meetup. Hey guys, you know what? Just gonna talk about this law of attraction thing. You just tell me your stories and stuff like this. And he did that for 3 years. He collected all the stories, and that's how he has enough material to launch the book. And because he's an unknown publisher, unknown author, no publishers no one wanted to touch him, because no track record. And what he did, he basically go and sell to those people who came to his meetup, and within a few hours, he managed to sell like 1,000 copies. That's how the publishers decided to bring his book, and that's how he went to Oprah actually.
Powerful.
So sometimes, what he was telling me is that, I mean, what I got is you don't have to spend time to build the product first, but he did say he spent some money to ask a designer to do the cover. He said, hey, this is a book I'm going to launch, just doing focus group and stuff like that. That's product development, if you ask me.
Yep, that is.
Oh, that's a good way.
That's a very good way. MVP, right? So it's just like similar as we start doing the course, right? And then when people start buying, then no choice, I have to do the course.
Correct.
It's just like the thing that we did, right? It's like do it all the
Yes.
time. Nobody buy,
Yes.
then I don't need to do that. Got people buy, then okay, go
Yeah.
do it.
Then you do it.
That's how. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, Maverick.
Okay.
Now, I mean, want to bring us to the last question from Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yes.
Yeah, Jeffrey is asking, marketing teams are finding it difficult to integrate with DevOps, environments. What do you guys think? I mean, first, help me with DevOps. What do you think?
Development operations.
Operations.
Development operation environment. To integrate,
Why are they finding it
Yeah.
difficult to integrate? It's a technology issue, isn't it?
Is it a technology issue?
Yeah, culture, from the culture point of view, that cannot numb or what?
Yeah, Jeffrey, I'm not sure if you are still here. Can you actually fill us in? Jeffrey,
But if it's from a cultural, like people, character, background, then I would think it's expected, because marketers are supposed to be creative. You try to merge with the finance people. They say, hey, don't creative stuff. It's black and white. Operation is all about punctuality, what time, hey, your ROI how much, your ROI how much. So that's why sometimes even with the PR is sometimes the hardest to measure already. Oh, we do this PR event, then how? So that's why nobody likes the CFO in the meeting one. How much are we going to get from this? Sometimes a lot of stuff you cannot calculate. So Tun M told me this before. In any other country, they would, as a government, they will always locate R&D budget, to research stuff and stuff like this. But in Malaysia, the problem is that they expect an ROI on R&D. Look, the purpose of R&D is to experiment, to find stuff and all. There's no guarantee ROI one. If there's guarantee ROI, it's not research and development, it's production already. So, but, this one is a story that he told. That's why I remember from him. Like, what was the Viagra?
Oh,
No,
okay.
Viagra from Pfizer. So Viagra was a product of years of R&D, but it was never researched as a tool, for sex or whatnot. It was actually to help those with weaker hearts, to help the blood to pump better and stuff like that. But they realized that it has some very bad side effects, but they kind of rejig it and make it into Viagra. So that's why a lot of times different departments are expected to function differently. The marketers are supposed to be creative. Salespeople are supposed to be aggressive. Yeah, can do. How? Don't ask them that shitty question that you potong steam only. Just
can one.
Yeah, just can one. The operations are the guys that they are. So salespeople are the one who is the kite. The operation is the one pulling the string one. But you need that kind of dynamic. Like imagine the whole team all kite on. Then shit, man, everyone literally fly kite only lah.
Fly kite. Oh, fly kite.
Okay, Jeffrey came in and filled us in on this question. He said, approach from a speed standpoint. Okay, DevOps is continuous improvement process, and often marketing is trying to catch up. Right. I think Maverick puts it in a very fundamental and solid way, which is I think different departments just work differently. And I guess this is a boss job to find a way to integrate this both. Rather than integrating, I think let's see whether we can optimize.
Actually, the marketing, catching up may mean a couple of things. So it's like maybe they created new features and the marketing team don't know how to market that feature. Okay, but here's the problem. Is the development team creating a feature that the market don't want? So that's why the marketers are catching up. Because they're like, hey, how come you put out this feature and we don't know how to sell? So sometimes don't know how to sell is maybe the marketers are not good, or you are creating a feature that the market actually don't want. So I think in a way, the marketers are the one that should be going out to the salespeople and find out what are the features that you need. Simplest way is at the moment, I think Jeffrey is an email engine, right? Engine mailer. So the moment someone sign up, always ask them, hey, why, can I know why you decided to sign up with us? That insight could be more important than whatever feature you're going to build. So double down on basically the strength. So marketers should be the one kind of like having those kind of conversations, or even focus group. focus group, bring a couple of clients together and just ask them, hey, what are the things that you want? So I think that's how the marketers shouldn't be left behind. They should be the one leading it. They take the feedback, tell the ops team, okay, these are the 3 features that we need to build because our customers say that if we have these 3, it's a perfect product. So I think that's how everyone can be in sync.
Or the other thing that you need to is the marketing would basically need to ask the DevOps team exactly why did you build this particular feature.
Yeah, correct. Sometimes they short sendiri also, right?
Right. If you build something that nobody wants, then that's kind of like a waste of resources and everything. That's why the marketing needs to play catch up. I agree with Maverick.
Yeah.
So there has to be that to and fro, because I came from a software development house, and most of the time the developers build this one because the boss thinks that that is the market that could be solved by this particular feature. So they built it.
Steve Jobs want to be, but yes.
Yeah. So then, without understanding the reason why they need to build this particular feature, because boss say, I want this particular feature, they build it, and then when we came in and try to explain to the customer, it becomes a totally disconnect, because as far as concerned, the customer don't really need this. It's a nice to have. So for marketing is we need to then interface and really understand from DevOps what do they do, because DevOps responsibility is, you want this, my responsibility is to ship the damn thing. I don't care how elegant or whether it works or not. Well, it works lah, but basically I just want to ship this. If I ship this, my job is done.
Correct. So I say even customer support or customer service, those are great places where you can collect the features as well. I know they got roadmaps and stuff like this, like with GIST, the CRM I'm using. So I just ask, hey, you got a lot of cool features with bots and stuff like that, but can you have a function to duplicate forms or not? Simple, basic shit. Can you just duplicate the form, allow a right click and then can duplicate the form? That's it. The bot stuff, all that awesome. I don't need it yet. Okay, I don't use it yet. I don't know how to use it yet. But if you can duplicate the form, man, it can help me replicate my landing pages a lot easier. So that one is because I asked, and then they basically created it. So I think if DevOps work from a point of like first customer inquiry, user inquiry one, and then trying to understand for someone like Maverick, asking this feature and this feature and this feature, what is he trying to achieve? Then only you build that ultimate feature that I don't see yet as a customer. Because sometimes I'm short-sighted. I just want to duplicate the freaking form only. But I want to duplicate the freaking form is because I want to speed up the process. Now, what can you do on your side, on the CRM side, that can help me speed up the process? That should be the ultimate goal that I cannot see lah. Because I'm short-sighted, I only want to.
One is a symptom, one is a problem lah.
Exactly. So that's where sometimes the DevOps team, that's why having a CTO is useful, because CTO is in a helicopter. They have a bigger desktop view. The coders sometimes, even ourselves as marketers, we are, let's say we want to go into TikTok marketing, we will like go into this hole of TikTok marketing and we ignore everything else. So then we'll start thinking, wow, TikTok is the best and stuff like this. But the moment we think like a hammer, as the marketer, I think we are screwed because we are only just, like just now we talk about Batman. If Batman every time go, just throw his battle rank only, I think eventually the villains will be, we just watch out. The moment he raise his hands, I'll be siam, you know already. Cannot lie. Must have surprise, ma. So must have the belt. But Batman has proven again and again, without the belt, he can still be awesome. So it's actually what's inside.
Mysterious.
Awesome. All right, guys.
There you go.
Wow. Thank you so much for the participation, everyone. And thank you so much for all these crazy awesome sharing, right, Maverick. So guys, thank you so much for watching up to now. This is the longest episode ever.
Chinese New Year edition.
Yeah,
Chinese
New
New
Year
Year
2020
One
edition.
wow session, just one simple wow.
Oh, you know how to do wow? Okay.
Oh, still got to wow.
What about
Okay.
wow?
Yeah, no, Ampao. Now this is the Ampao session.
Correct. This is the Ang Bao
Can
session.
you all see the screen that I'm sharing? The assets.xyz.
Wait, I'm bringing out the screen. Stop. Wait,
what?
Where?
What's happening?
Okay. No. I'm trying to bring up the screen. Okay, there you go.
So you can see assets.xyz. Well, Jason will put it in the Facebook and YouTube. So this one discovering performing ads in your industry. This is still a very elementary because there's only a few industry. So example, I choose education. Then you can
What's
see what is currently active in Facebook and IG.
Oh,
Yeah. And they actually say starting running on 20th October. I think this is still active. So you can look for those running for a very long time. This one is 31st March. So something is working.
Oh, so they took it from the ads library, is it?
Library.
Now I think something like S Library, but this is a bit similar to Big Spy also. So quite interesting. I find it. I recently just discovered this, so you can play around. But of course, the industry is a bit limiting, lah.
Yeah, but I think
mostly
what you
Facebook,
mentioned
right?
just now, Manfred, is correct. Like if you notice those ads that have been running for a long time, especially from a big company, right? Okay, it's either their marketing team sucks, or they got a lot of money, or the ad is working well. Because if they are smart and the ad is working well, they will keep it. Why do they want to
Keep
keep it?
running. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True, true.
actually, this one almost running for a year already. You see,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Copy lah.
check out the copy and the images. So this is some references that well, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, lah.
Just be careful that don't look at the tactics alone. Understand the reason why we do that.
You understand the strategy. So that's the one of the biggest takeaway for us tonight.
Absolutely.
So, all right. I think that brings us to the end of the show. This is 1 hour and 21 minutes down already. And thank you so much for joining us tonight, Maverick.
Maverick, thank you so much.
Spending your
Hey,
time
thanks
with
for
us
having me.
and for all the awesome sharing. And thank you everyone who is watching up to now. And one more time, we would like to wish everyone happy Chinese New Year, 恭喜发财, and have a great Water Tiger year ahead. All right, we do this every Wednesday night. Join us next Wednesday, and we were gonna be discussing about what next Wednesday. Anyway, meow, really? What's that all about? Anyway, watch out for whatever that is gonna come next week. Okay, see you next week. Thank you. Good
Okay,
night.
bye.
Happy Chinese New Year. Bye bye.